I call the member for Lilley.
The upcoming closure of BP's Bulwer Island refinery will have a devastating impact on my electorate, with the loss of over 350 jobs, and also means that Australia now imports 91% of our petroleum on foreign tankers, up from 60% in the year 2000. In fact, Australia now relies on a single mega refinery in Singapore for over half of our unleaded petrol supply. Yet the government's recent energy white paper concludes, and I quote, "Reliability of fuel and crude supply to Australia, which underpins fuel supply domestically, is maintained through diverse international crude and fuel suppliers." This view is delusional. As a nation, we're dependent on petroleum for virtually all of our transportation. Petrol, diesel and aviation fuel accounted for over 90% of transport energy use in 2012-13. If the shipping routes through Southeast Asia were disrupted, the Australian economy would grind to a halt in a matter of weeks. The NRMA has said that we have as little as 3 weeks of fuel supply in Australia. We are dangerously reliant upon one refinery for our fuel supplies. In essence, we've adapted a she'll-be-right approach to fuel security, relying on the historical performance of global oil and fuel markets to provide in all cases. We are completely at the mercy of foreign supply lines. This is now an issue of national security, not just of energy security. Quite simply, our current approach to fuel security is not good enough, and more needs to be done to address Australia's fuel security. Not only are we losing our refining capability, we're also losing our domestic bulk transport capability. We're losing jobs, and we're also risking a potential environmental disaster. Now, in recent weeks, BP has announced it will offshore the crewing of the bulk carrier British Loyalty. Not a lot of loyalty from the British towards what is happening here in Australia. Closing down the refinery of Bulwer Island, offshoring all of the staffing and manning of our coastal fleet. It is now government policy and industry policy to deregulate coastal shipping, which is opening it up to foreign seafarers, and this is a potential safety disaster. British Loyalty will be the third bulk fuel tanker in the past 6 months to have its crewing placed offshore. So Australia is now completely reliant on foreign shipping and foreign crews, and Australian jobs are going right out the back door. That means from next month there will only be 2 remaining Australian bulk fuel tankers out of something like 64 bulk fuel tankers. As a Queenslander, this is deeply concerning to me because it also brings with it a threat to the environment.